Are you ready?
Hang on. No, I'm not recording it. Just give me a second. Now I'm ready.
I call to order the meeting of the Finance Committee on April 3rd, 2019. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alderman O'Brien. Present. Alderman Kelly is here. Alderman Loss. Here. Alderman Clee.
Here.
Alderman Karen.
Here.
Alderman Harry Gathright.
Present.
And Chair Mayor Donches.
Yes, I'm here.
We have all members present.
First item is public comment. I don't see any member of the public who wishes to speak. So we'll move on to communications. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding contract award of transit services operations with a value of $10,945,301. Mr. Mayor, I move to accept, place on file, and contingent upon Board of Aldermen approval, award the contract to First Transit, Inc. in the amount of $10,945,301. Funds are available in Department 186 Transportation Grant Funds.
And Ms. Marchant is here to brief us on this item.
Good evening. Thank you.
Hi.
So this is the transit operations subcontracts out for the drivers, dispatch, and regular movement of the buses every day, management of general safety, and those things. And so First Transit has been our provider for the past 20 plus years. We went out to bid, solicited from 7 firms and received 2 qualified responses. We interviewed both qualified responses and had quite a bit of negotiations over insurance this time. There's been substantial changes to insurance, which changed some of the fee structures. And so we went back and forth for several months on that, got two final offers, and those are before you tonight. We have recommending going forward with First Transit, which is almost $2 million less than the other response. And so it is a lot of money. It is a 5-year contract. It's about $2 million a year, and it is budgeted for. Any questions? Happy to answer them.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Yeah, so I was trying to dig around a little bit and see, is it typical for a municipality to send this out to bid versus doing it themselves?
So that's a great question. There are many different ways that transit are operated. We are unique in that we have a transit department. It's actually a city department. There are many transit authorities. For example, Manchester is a separate transit authority. They're not part of the city. Up in the Dartmouth region, there is a regional transit authority. In the Seacoast, there's a regional transit authority. So the way Nashua has set this up is unique. My understanding is this was more of the city owned the assets, but we used to subcontract out all of it. We didn't have any city staff. We subcontracted the whole operations out. We just owned it. We did a big analysis on that and what was the most cost-effective method for the city to run the operations. And and I'm not going to have this date right, but 12 years ago, 14 years ago, we switched over. And so we have a city department with the management and the operations team. We the city staff, have all the maintenance contracts, and we own all the assets. So the only thing we sub out is the drivers and the management of that and dispatch. And so that has been a very cost-effective method for that. As part of this, with the federal dollars, we're required to do a cost analysis compared to other ways that people operate in the state, and we have found that we are still very, very effective in this method.
Can I do a follow-up, please? You may not know the answer right now.
That's okay.
I was just wondering if when we did the analysis 12 years ago, if we knew how much it actually saved us, either percentage-wise or dollar-wise.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know that I've ever specifically seen that. I know that our insurance costs dropped $200,000 by bringing it under the city. That's just one tiny piece of it. I'm sure that information's out there, and I'm happy to look for it. I could share the cost analysis that we did just recently for the FTA, comparing like services. It isn't necessarily comparing only in New Hampshire. It's in the region to find something that's a little bit more like us and like contracted services and the hourly rates. That shows that we are very, very competitive doing it this way. I'd be happy to provide that.
Sure. I mean, it sounds like it's what we've been doing, but I just want to know from my own,
Yeah, absolutely.
education as we go on. So I'd love to see that. Thanks.
Okay.
Alderman Laws?
Director Martian just took care of all of the questions that I had.
Anyone else?
Excellent.
If there's no other discussion, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kukin, Purchasing Manager, regarding pump station upgrades project Phase 1 construction engineering services with a value of $409,900. Mr. Mayor, I move to accept, place on file, and award the contract to Wright Pierce in the amount of $409,901. Funds are available in Department 169 Wastewater State Revolving Loan Fund.
And this is, of course, Superintendent Boucher from the treatment plant. Could you describe or explain this and the next item, which
Okay.
work together?
Thank you. Good evening. Dave Boucher, wastewater superintendent. This is phase 1 of a 2-phase project for upgrading all the pump stations, the sewer pump stations throughout the city of Nashua, and some CSO facilities, which transfers water from low gravity sewer to a higher gravity sewer, so it eventually gets to the wastewater plant. They're all in need of updating. This is for the first 6. The engineering services from Wright Pierce will oversee the construction phase of the project. I don't know if you have any questions on that.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, it's good to see you again, Mr. Coming before this committee. And I know what has happened in the past with the sewage treatment. Is it your hope that instead of doing all 6 in one bite, that you can get into a deferred maintenance program? Or is this part of the deferred maintenance program to get this done? Is this, suffering from past inattentiveness?
Yes, this is suffering from the past. So this will be, once it's done, then it'll be part of a maintenance program to maintain these. When these were originally constructed, they were constructed in the fashion, you'd build pump stations back then, everything 20 feet below ground. So a lot of these will be brought above ground where it's safer for the employees to work on pumps. So everything will be transmitted above ground. So it's not so much, neglect or anything like that. It's making it safer for our guys, and a lot of these pumps get clogged. There's a lot of rags in the system, so they got to constantly be pulled up. It's also updating the pumps that can handle the type of materials that come through the line without having to take them offline, pull them apart, and take the rags out and put them back in. So there'll be more updated pumps in these facilities.
Excellent, thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. I'm not sure if Mr. Kukin would answer this, but I was wondering about the State Revolving Loan Fund, what that is, and any history behind it.
I don't know.
David, that says he does.
Yes, come on up, Treasurer Fredette.
David Fredette, City Treasurer. State Revolving Loan Fund works very similar to a bond. It's actually a loan from the state. They get federal funds for this. And in the past, we've done some projects with bonds and more with the loans because they tend to be a little less cost. The rates are very good. You don't start paying until the project is about 98% complete, which is good. And the rates are usually sometimes 0.5% lower than a bond. So we use it a lot at the landfill and at the wastewater treatment.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kukin, Purchasing Manager, regarding pump station upgrade project Phase 1 construction services with a value of $3,469,550. Mr. Mayor, I move to accept, place on file, and contingent upon Board of Aldermen approval, award the contract to Derifleece,
Defelice.
Defelice,
Yeah.
thank you, Corporation in the amount of $3,469,550. Source of funding is Department 169 wastewater, state revolving loan fund. Thank you.
Do you have anything to add beyond what you explained on the last item? I know this is directly related.
This went out to bid. DeFelice was the low bidder of the three. We checked references, and the references came back in favor of awarding the bid to DeFelice. And they were within the engineer's estimate of the project.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Alderwoman Kelly.
Communication from Dan Kuchen, Purchasing Manager, regarding the purchase of one Fairbanks brand pump from Hayes Pump with a value of $29,511. Mr. Mayor, I move to accept, place on file, and authorize the purchase from Hayes Pump, Inc. in the amount of $29,511. Funds are available in Department 169 wastewater.
Mr. Boucher?
So this is a pump for one of our pump station called Northgate Pump Station. Typically, there's at least two pumps at a pump station. One is a backup in case one goes down. We just recently had one go down. We can typically send it out for repairs and rebuild. Unfortunately, the one that we had pulled was beyond repair. So this pump is spec'd out, even though this pump station is not involved in the first 6 facilities to get upgraded, because this pump station tended to need less work. Unfortunately, this pump came up after the bids went out. So this pump that we're purchasing is the same pump that's in the specifications for the Phase 2 pump station upgrade. So even when we do Phase 2, this pump will still be valid. Unfortunately, they're extremely expensive pumps. It's one of our larger pump stations.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And with that comment, that this is your largest, I think, in the city, and it's only running on one pump, so is this issue going to get expedited, I would imagine, to, just in case the other
Yes.
one is equal in age, I would imagine?
Yes, that's the goal, and we're paying close attention, that if it does go down currently, we have a crew out there as soon as possible, because the pump can't go down. We only have one installed right now. So if it goes down, then the sewage backs up.
Okay.
So-
And follow up, if I may?
Yes.
This is the one that's close to the river, am I correct?
Yeah, this Campton Street, I think, is
Yeah,
the one
okay.
it's close to. Yeah.
Alderwoman Clee.
In leading to what you said, this is the largest pump. We only have one working right now. When we get the new one in, if this is approved and you get the new one in, this becomes your backup. Will you be checking to make sure that this is a sufficient backup and that it doesn't need to be replaced itself or repaired, so that we don't end up with just one again? Or is that what the plan would be?
Yeah, we do maintain these pumps. We do have crews that go out there several times a week to check them. Unfortunately, the pump that was taken out is beyond repair.
Right.
But this will be a good pump. It will be the backup, and we will continue to service both pumps. When we do the pump station upgrade Phase 2, the other one will be replaced, the older one.
Okay. Thank you.
Discussion? Questions? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unfinished business, we have none. New business, none. Record of expenditures. Alderwoman Kelly.
I move that the Finance Committee has complied with the city charter and ordinances pertaining to the record of expenditures for the period of March 16th, 2019 to March 29th, 2019.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. General discussion? Any general discussion items? Public comment? No one is here to comment. Remarks by Alderman?
I
Alderman
would just
O'Brien.
like to say that I'm very impressed with Mr. Boucher and the work that he's doing, and our sewer system is one of the silent things that exist out there, but when it fails, it does not remain silent. So I think to compliment him for catching a lot of this and bringing it up to par. So it was an infrastructure that Unfortunately, for whatever reasons, tax spending cap or whatever, but it got put on the back burner. And I'm glad it's at the forefront now and starting to get repaired, so I think we're on the right flush, so to speak.
Unintended.
Anyone else? Alderwoman Kelly.
I move to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 7:15 PM.